My name is Tabitha Humphrey, and I'm an MSN student at EKU, and this is my project proposal presentation for NSC 892. The title of my project is Creating a Peer Support Program to Promote Breastfeeding in Expectant Adolescent Mothers. Breastfeeding among adolescent mothers is a topic of interest. With an estimated 600,000 teenagers giving birth each year in the United States, this is an issue that we need to address. In 2011, Kentucky had the 7th highest rate of adolescent pregnancies among females ages 15 to 19. The under 20 maternal age group has the lowest rate of ever breastfeeding their children, with only 58.6% of them ever doing so. So this is a topic that was of great interest to me, and my purpose of my project is to increase breastfeeding initiation rates and prolong duration of breastfeeding among first-time adolescent mothers within the first 3 months postpartum. The target audience for this project is adolescent primiparous mothers ages 13 to 18 who are in their 3rd trimester of pregnancy. Nola Pender's health promotion model was chosen as a theoretical framework to guide this study. Pender's model states that personal biological factors such as age, gender, and pubertal status are predictive of a given behavior and shaped by the nature of the target behavior being considered. The model also proposes that peers are important primary interpersonal influences that can increase commitment to and engagement in health-promoting behaviors. This was extremely interesting to me, as we all know that adolescents pay more attention to what their peers are doing and listen more to what they think than they do their elders. For my synthesis of literature, I looked at 5 different studies related to this issue, and there were a variety of similarities and differences between the research studies reviewed. All studies included telephone calls at regular intervals for the first 3 months postpartum, and 2 studies included actual in-hospital visitations in addition to these telephone calls. The value of the studies reviewed became obvious throughout the literature review process, as they indicated a positive correlation between peer support and an increase in breastfeeding initiation rates and duration among adolescent mothers. Interventions showed effectiveness in prolonging breastfeeding in the first 3 months postpartum. Study results, in combination with a high rate of participant satisfaction with study interventions, showed that the addition of breastfeeding peer support programs is effective and that further research is necessary. Interventions for my proposed program include a combination of weekly prenatal telephone calls, peer counseling sessions, as well as 1 in-hospital face-to-face peer counseling session and weekly postpartum telephone calls for the first 12 weeks postpartum or until breastfeeding cessation. Educational material from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Women's Health will be provided to peer counselors to use during these counseling sessions. Participants will be educated by peer volunteer counselors regarding the benefits of breastfeeding, as well as their own personal experience with breastfeeding. Myself, Tabitha Humphrey, will make 1 additional call per week to collect data from each participant to determine breastfeeding duration. Data regarding breastfeeding initiation will be determined during the in-hospital visits by simply asking the participant whether or not they've started breastfeeding. Data regarding breastfeeding duration will be gathered during the postpartum telephone calls by asking participants to rank their breastfeeding practices from 0 to 5 based upon the International Group for Actions on Breastfeeding Consortium breastfeeding definition ranges, which are seen here. So 0 would be bottle feeding or no breast milk. 1 is token breastfeeding or occasional breastfeeding with less than 10% of the nutrition coming from the breast milk. 2 is partial breastfeeding, breast milk and at least 1 bottle of formula per day. 3 is high breastfeeding with breast milk and less than 1 bottle of formula per day. 4 is almost exclusive breastfeeding with breast milk and occasionally other fluids but not formula. 5 is exclusive breastfeeding with breast milk only. All postpartum data will be collected by Tabitha Humphrey, myself, only, which will ensure the reliability and the validity of the data. So in conclusion, the most significant expected outcome of this project would be an increase in both breastfeeding initiation rates and as well as a prolongation of breastfeeding duration throughout the first 3 months postpartum among adolescent women receiving peer counseling interventions.